have my views about life, existence, the nature of reality, all of that, have those views changed since I published this video in September of 2021? I'm trying not to cringe too much as I look back. It's me, Uncle Deadward. The first thing I notice about this is that it's super slow and it's scripted. I wrote it out. I think it's nicely written, but it's not a natural way of speaking, so it comes across as really stale and boring. I sped this video up to 125, and you'll see it's a little bit easier to take. It's me, Uncle Deadward. And of course, the elephant in the room is the wig. Yeah, for some reason, I thought that a gimmick, and the name Uncle Deadward, I thought having a gimmick would make me stand out and get me attention, among the sea of content that's out there. There's a lot of content out there. What I didn't take into account is that being my authentic self just feels better to me, and ultimately that's what I want to put out there. So whether I get attention or not, I gotta be me. I gotta be myself. Also, seeing my beard in its natural state, white, which is quite pretty actually on camera. In person, not as pretty. I guess that's an insecurity of mine. Going back to the workplace, I'm working with 30-something-year-olds and I'm 50-something years old, and I guess I'm a little insecure about my age, so now I'm back to coloring my beard. Yes, I still have insecurities. Okay, I'm going to speed this up. We're going to hit the important points, and I'm going to see, do I still agree or disagree? I dove into books on everything from quantum physics and perceptual consciousness to facts and the importance of not giving them. I read accounts of the life of Jesus and accounts of the lives of humanoid and non-humanoid extraterrestrials. I pored over stories of Earth and stories from heaven. I learned how to ask for help, and I learned how to find everything I need within myself. Although some of the higher concepts flew right over my head, I managed to absorb a lot of this information. I have gained a general understanding of the world and all its wonders, physical and intangible, as well as a defined belief system which I use to guide all my life's decisions. Good, all true, all that is true. Here's what I've come to believe about the nature of life, existence, and being human. 1. Nothing is as it appears to be. It's hard to wrap your mind around, but actual smart people, scientists who devote their lives to studying such things, know that all physical things, upon closer inspection, are basically vibrational energy. True, I'm not a scientist, and my description is highly simplified, but an average 150-pound human body, for example, contains about 6.5 octillion atoms, which are vortexes of spinning energy. Okay, I don't know where I got that number from, but I agree, still agree. Spinning energy. Everything is energy. Nothing is solid. Physics will tell you this. This is very wordy, though. I had to cut big chunks out of this video. It was so wordy. I think I was trying to flourish with my fancy words and clever phrases, but who wants to watch that? 2. We'll never fully understand everything in this lifetime. Our 5 senses are extremely limited. There are mysteries we cannot possibly understand as we wander around the earth in our meat suits, observing it all from a 3-dimensional perspective. We think we know it all. Meanwhile, there are particles we cannot see without the use of fancy mechanical gadgets. There are sounds only dogs can hear, and scents which we cannot smell that snakes gather from the air with their tongues. Excellent! I love the snake thing. I completely forgot about that. That's a very interesting fact that illustrates the point I was making, that there's so much that we don't see. There's more to life than we possibly can experience with these 3-dimensional bodies. Good job. 3. Discovering how the world works and our place in it is the reason we are here. Thought leaders, notably Gary Zukov, have deemed the Earth a school which moment by moment offers us opportunities to learn about ourselves. Whether life on Earth is a school, a game, or an experiment, it sure is challenging. We spend our time focusing on sometimes pleasant but often infuriating distractions. We devote a lot of energy to being angry and then wonder why the world we see is full of so much discord. Discovering how the world works is the reason we're here. I do agree with this. I would phrase it a little differently now. I think that discovering who we truly are is a little bit more accurate way to say this. Getting to the point where we know that none of this is real, that we are just pure love energy. That's closer to what I believe now, but I'm gonna let this go. I think I was on the right track. I still believe this. 4. Socks with sandals are a fashion do. I was trying to be funny and cute. I do believe that, though. I still wear socks and sandals all the time. I will forever wear them. I remember when I was younger and Calvin Klein was first on the scene, and there was an ad with a guy lounging around with Birkenstock-like shoes and socks, and I thought that is so freaking chic. I still believe it, and I still stand by that statement. Socks with sandals are definitely a fashion do. 5. Being pessimistic isn't cool or edgy. I used to take great pride in being a realist. I was always ready to break it down for everyone. My basic story was, the world is full of bad people doing bad things. I was such a gangsta. Or so I thought. My point of view began to change as I realized that, as I stated earlier, nothing is as it appears to be. There's so much we don't know, etc., etc. Yes, we need to interpret things in order to make sense of the world around us, but what if those we have deemed bad people who are doing those bad things are actually serving a purpose? Maybe they're there to show us how we shouldn't behave, or to inspire us to take action. For me, it has often taken something bad happening to prompt me to move my physical ass off the sofa and take charge of my life. Agree. Still agree. Very well said, by the way. Good job, Edward of the past. I especially believe this with certain world leaders who I view as not being great leaders, being more interested in their own selves than the people that they are ruling over. The only way to survive sometimes is to say, okay, you know what? I'm not going to waste my entire energy being angry at this person. I know it's like popular to hate on certain politicians and people in general that are in the public eye, but um, it's a waste of energy. View them as a lesson for you. Everything negative in my life I view as a lesson for me. How should I be? How should I act? Can you hear the helicopter? Wow. 6. Thoughts create our reality. As the placebo effect demonstrates, our beliefs can determine outcomes. Sugar pills cure as well as drugs if we believe they will. Of course, yes, I still believe this. Yes, I don't have anything else to say. Yes, I still believe this. 7. We continue to evolve throughout our lives. As I continue to live and learn, I'm sure I'll find that I have to rethink, revise, even let go of some of the beliefs I hold today. Yes, we're always learning. You never know what's going to happen. That's why I'm always listening to different viewpoints. I'm open to new ideas. Yeah, no brainer. We continue to evolve throughout our lives. 8. Everything will ultimately be all right. This I can promise you, dearest random stranger and future internet pal. We, like socks with sandals, are eternal. As eternals, we have been through 5 extinctions on this planet alone. Yet here we are again, having forgotten pretty much everything we've learned through all the trials and tribulations of living in a 3-dimensional reality. As the scientific law of conservation of mass tells us, matter cannot be destroyed or created. So our physical bodies are basically just recycled and rearranged elements as old as the universe. I believe that, like matter, our consciousness or soul cannot be destroyed. It's forever and part of the organizing force of the universe. But do your own research and think for yourself. Yes, the cringe factor was strong with that one. But I do believe still that everything will ultimately be all right for all of us, even the people that we deem evil. We're all pure love. We'll all get back to that at some point. We're all on a path. Wherever we are on the path is okay. It's an individual journey. And yeah, we're going to be fine. Don't stress. Don't stress. We have the free will to make our own choices. We can choose to wallow in the unfortunate or focus on the good. We can take full advantage of all this 3-dimensional plane has to offer. Fully immerse ourselves in the experience of hearing the angelic voices of our favorite singers. Revel in the beat and give ourselves permission to dance whenever the mood strikes us. BTS reference. Happy to see I was still loving BTS even way back then. This is Uncle Deadwood sending you tons of love and appreciation and reminding you to use your powers wisely. Trying not to cringe, but actually, I kind of love that guy. You know, he was doing his best. That's where he was at. And I'm sure what I'm doing right now, in a year from now, I'll look back and think, you thought you were so great, didn't you? But look how far you've come since then. In conclusion, yes, I still believe in everything I believed in September of 2021, except for the wig. Yeah, I'm not, yeah. Okay.